What if your entire life was running on a script written before you could speak? What if the first 10 minutes of your life, your earliest experiences, the first lessons you absorbed, the first stories you were told about yourself, were still running the other 23 hours and 50 minutes of your day? That is not a metaphor. That is neuroscience. Research has shown that early life experiences have a lasting impact on the brain by activating or repressing specific molecular signals that regulate gene expression involved in neuronal plasticity and learning. The environment during childhood and adolescence leaves a tangible biological trace in the brain. A molecular switch that converts those early experiences into lasting changes in cognitive function. Before you had language, before you had a concept of I, your brain was being wired. The patterns of safety or threat. The belief that you are loved or that you are a burden. The feeling that the world is a place of opportunity or a place of danger. Those patterns were not chosen. They were installed. It is like the first 10 minutes of a clock set the entire day. The clock does not know it is running on that setting. It just runs. But here is the good news. Early experiences are not destiny. The brain is plastic. It can be rewired. That is neuroplasticity. That is the mechanism of change. And it is also what the Islamic tradition has been teaching for centuries. The concept of tazkiyah al-nafs is the purification of the soul. It is one of the primary missions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to teach the book, to teach wisdom, and to purify the soul. The Quran says, "He has succeeded who purifies it, and he has failed who instills it with corruption." The idea is simple. The soul, the nafs, is not fixed. It can be purified or corrupted. It can be trained or neglected. It is a program that can be rewritten. The philosopher Epictetus said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." That is exactly what the Stoics taught. The facts of your life do not determine your happiness. The story you tell yourself about those facts determines your happiness. And the Stoics knew what neuroscience has now confirmed: stories can be rewritten. A narrative is just a filter. Without it, reality is just facts. With it, you can create meaning. And meaning can be changed. So here is a weapon. It is not a 10-step formula. It is one question. What is the story I was told about myself that I am still believing? Not what happened to me. That is facts. The question is, what story did I make up about what happened? That is the program. Let me give you examples. You were criticized as a child. The fact, your parent criticized you. The story, I am not good enough. That story is running your life. It makes you overwork. It makes you avoid challenges. It makes you feel like a failure even when you succeed. You were ignored as a child. The fact, your parent was absent. The story, I am not worth paying attention to. That story is running your life. It makes you seek validation. It makes you stay in relationships where you are not seen. It makes you feel invisible even in a crowded room. You were praised only when you achieved. The fact, you were rewarded for performance. The story, my worth is earned. That story is running your life. It makes you terrified of failure. It makes you burn out. It makes you feel like you are never enough. These are scripts. They were written before you had the power to question them. Now here is the harder truth. You are not broken. You were programmed. But you are also not powerless. You are the programmer now. The process is simple. Brutal. But simple. First, identify the script. Write it down. I am not enough. I am too much. I don't belong. I have to be perfect. I am a burden. Whatever it is. Write it in one sentence. Second, trace it. Where did it come from? Who installed it? Not to blame them. To understand. It was probably not intentional. But it was installed. Third, test it. Is it true? What evidence do you have that contradicts it? Write that down. This is not positive thinking. This is reality testing. Fourth, rewrite it. Write a new story. Not a fantasy. A more accurate, more empowering interpretation of the same facts. Fifth, repeat it. Every day. Until it becomes the new program. Neuroscience confirms that repeated activation builds new pathways. Repetition is the mechanism of change. The Islamic tradition says that the heart is between two invitations, the invitation of lust and the invitation of God. The person who masters his passions is the one who succeeds. But that mastery is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. The Stoics call it muhasabah, self-accountability. The Quran calls it tazkiyah, purification. You are not a victim of your past. You are the author of your future. The first 10 minutes of your life set the program. But you can rewrite the code. So here is your homework. Tonight, sit down. Write down the script that is running your life. The one that is keeping you stuck. The one that makes you feel powerless. Write it in one sentence. Then trace it. Then test it. Then rewrite it. Do this every night for 28 days. That is how you rewire the clock. That is how you take back control. Most people will watch this video. They will nod. They will agree. And then they will go back to the same patterns. They will stay in the familiar pain. They will keep running the old script. Because breaking the pattern is uncomfortable. It is easier to stay in the familiar cage than to face the unknown freedom. But you are not most people. You are watching this channel because something in you knows that the program has to end. So end it. Name the script. Rewrite the code. Take back your clock. Now go. Rewrite your first 10 minutes.